What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of Days of Our Lives, a hot mess. Like, this whole situation was just a mess. Like, I felt bad for Maggie, Sarah. It's a lot of emotion going around. Um, Zoe is a smart ass attorney, though. I will say that she's downright brilliant. Sonny was downright stupid. Because the reason I say he was stupid was simply because you opened up your mouth in an unofficial capacity. Like, here you are on your way to the trial, about to go into the courtroom, and you get stopped by the defense attorney. She's pretty much asking you all these questions, and you let her get into your mind. You took the bait, and he did exactly what Zoe wanted him to do. She tried to play mind games with him so that way when she does get him on the witness stand, she can rattle him. It was, she was just playing mind tricks with him. That's exactly what she did, and it looked like it was working because the way he was talking and stuff like that, you're just giving up all this information. Like, she brought up how, when she gets him on the witness stand, she gonna bring up how he was sleeping around, all the steamy sex that he was having with her brother, and he was sitting there talking about, okay, go ahead, bring that up or whatever. That was during me and Will's separation or whatever. She said, oh yeah, because he killed your mom. Like, she was saying and doing whatever it took to get into Sonny's head. Sonny was convinced that Evan was still gonna go to prison or whatever. She was like, I don't think so. But you know him, like, he tried to make it seem like he wasn't shook, but you were shook. She got into his head. But he shouldn't even have been talking to her in an unofficial capacity, though. That's where he messed up. Like, you shouldn't have done all of that. But Zoe definitely played it perfectly. Like, she's doing whatever she can before this trial to rattle people and get them, throw them off their game, so that way when the trial commences and she gets them on the witness stand, she can trip them up. Like, that's smart. That's a smart strategy. Um, Orpheus, of course, comes up talking about some, oh, this what you gonna do, you gonna put Evan on the witness stand, I'm gonna tell you what to do when you get him on the stand or whatever. Zoe was like, slow your roll, I'm not putting Evan on the witness stand. Orpheus was surprised that she wouldn't do that. I'm like, of course she's not gonna do that. First of all, any defense lawyer will tell you a lot of times they choose not to put their client on the witness stand because it's not in their best interest to put them on the witness stand. Especially, you don't really know all the questions that the prosecutor can ask. Like, you don't know what the DA is going to ask. So it's within their best interest to stay off because your client may slip up. He may say something, you know what I mean? Because you're not prepared for the questions that they're going to ask. You know what I mean? I think in Evan's case, it may be for the best that he stay off the witness stand. I think it was ridiculous that Orpheus was sitting here trying to tell a highly skilled attorney. Clearly, Zoe knows her shit and she knows what she's doing. And you try to tell her what to do in the courtroom when and who to put on the witness stand. That's not your position. Orpheus need to learn that you're not in control of everything. You need to learn how to play your part, play your position. You're the father / criminal. She's his sister / attorney. She knows what she's doing. Obviously, she knows what she's doing. So back off, let her do what she's doing. I feel like if she takes Orpheus' advice, it might backfire and they could possibly lose. Like, just trust what she's doing. Like, trust her. Um, of course, when Rafe comes up, Orpheus spouting off, talking about some how's my grandson. And of course, trying to get under Rafe's skin. And he was like, oh, that's not your grandson. And I will win custody when Evan is convicted. Zoe was not here for it. Zoe was like, well, he's not going to be convicted because that's not going to happen. Then she came up with the scenario about how she was going to tell everybody how Rafe was the one who murdered Jordan and said how Rafe was angry because she poisoned him and all this other mess. Like, she was just coming up with a bunch of scenarios that she's going to play up in court. And Rafe was like, oh, that's preposterous. Nobody's going to believe that. She was like, it doesn't matter. All I have to do is create doubt. That's so freaking true. That's all a lawyer has to do is create reasonable doubt. All you have to do is create some type of reasonable doubt that can prove That it is possible somebody else could have did it. Because if you think about it, everything that she laid out to Rafe today would have a jury thinking. Because a lot of what she said is possible motive for Rafe to actually kill Jordan. Even though we know Rafe didn't do it, but everything she said pretty much could point to the fact that it's possible he could have done that and Evan didn't. Even Orpheus was impressed by Zoey. I'm impressed too. She really is a good attorney. Like she's really that good. Like she talked about how Jordan poisoned him and how Jordan tried to kill his former stepdaughter Sierra. Those are all motives for Rafe wanting to go after her, which is true. Even though we all know he didn't, but still, all you gotta do is create enough reasonable doubt. It's enough to get Evan off. Definitely. Zoey is definitely playing her position and she's playing it quite well. Um, so anyway, moving on from that. I felt bad for Sarah. I really did. Like Sarah is an emotional wreck right now. She's just all over the place. Um, she refuses to go back to Salem. Rex keeps trying to talk her down, keeps trying to tell her, do the right thing, give the baby back, go back to Salem for your mom. But of course, Sarah is not really feeling Maggie right now. She's not. She's not happy with Maggie right now because Maggie, she feels, is responsible for the death of her child. You know what I mean? So a part of her wants to see Maggie suffer. But then another part of her, a bigger part of her, obviously still loves her mother. But I definitely understand where Sarah's coming from with that aspect of it. It's like she was upset that her mother was drinking and driving. That's what she was upset about. And caused the accident that, killed her friend and her grandchild. You know what I mean? But I do agree with Rex. Like, yeah, you have a right to, be upset with your mom, but you have to think about what your mom is going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just you. It's not like she did that on purpose. It's not like she went out trying to kill somebody, especially her own grandchild. She's going to have to live with that guilt for the rest of her life. For the rest of her days on this earth, she has to live with that. And of course, Sarah is just not listening to anything Rex has to say. She's sick of Rex defending Maggie. She's just not here for it. So now she feels like it's time for her to get ready to run before anybody can figure out where she is at this point. For me, I understand why she's not trying to give the kid back because she doesn't want the child being raised by Kristen. I could totally understand that. Kristen is not motherly material. I'm just saying, she's not. Like, let's be honest, she's totally not. But at the end of the day, what other option do you have? That's still not your child. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have the right to take someone's child and decide not to give it back just because of who the mom is. Yeah, the mother is psychotic, but she still has other relatives who are more than capable of helping to take care of her. And she, still has a dad who can possibly take care of her, even though, Brady has his own demons that he battle and his own issues. But I would say he's a step up from Kristen in the psycho department. He's not psychotic. He has his issues, but he's not a bad father. He's not a horrible father. He's not a killer. He's none of those things. He keeps a legitimate job. So, I mean, there's that. I think that would be a good enough reason to give the child back. So anyway, moving on from that, Xander pretty much had to tell Maggie everything. Like, he basically had to tell her the role that him and Victor played in the baby switch, because at first Maggie was under the impression that the hospital made a mistake and switched the babies. But he was like, no, we switched the babies. And she was like, we? She was like, you mean to tell me Victor ass was a part of this too? He said, yep. See, Xander, I understand you want to be all truth on stuff, but you and Victor really need to choose your words very wisely, very carefully, because I understand y'all want to, tell the truth and stuff like that, but legally you might want to watch your words. I'm just saying, because you can still be charged. Like, seriously, you can be charged with quite a few crimes. So you might just want to chill out with the confession. Or at least, talk hypothetically. I'm just saying. even though nobody records anything that they're saying. So it's pretty much he said, she said at this point. So even if even if he confesses to Maggie and Victor confesses to whoever, they don't have it on record. You know what I mean? There's no record of it. There's no evidence really linking back to them. So hopefully they can still get out of this without going to prison. But they might just want to watch their damn words. I felt bad because even though Xander, did wrong, you could tell he really genuinely cares for Sarah. He genuinely cares for Maggie, and he didn't want to hurt them. But he felt like now is the time to tell the truth, And I feel horrible for Maggie. You know what I mean? Like, she just found out her husband was stabbed. Mind you, this is after he already had a stroke. Now she finds out that her granddaughter is dead, and she's responsible for it. And she finds out that her daughter is now on the run with said child that they thought was dead. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of information to process all at once. So, of course, Maggie is just hysterical because she feels like, okay, I caused the death of not only my granddaughter, but a very good friend of mine. Like, how do you live with that guilt? How do you cope with that? And then on top of that, now she wants, she's going to try to get in touch with Justin to talk to the warden so she can get out of prison, at least for a day or so to go see about Victor and go see about Sarah. I mean, you're in prison, so it's like, you don't have privileges and stuff to just leave for a day just because your family is in crisis. That's not how the prison system works. Like, seriously, that's just not how that works. A warden is not going to just furlough you and let you out just because your husband was stabbed and your daughter's on the run. No. Everybody in that prison got family members or whoever going through crises and stuff of that nature. Maybe not of that nature, but of other natures, and they're not allowed to be let out, so why should you? I'm just saying. Like how Maggie's gonna deal with this, I have no idea. But I feel horrible for her. That's a lot of information to digest all at one time. That's like getting hit by a truck. Like, I couldn't imagine. Do I think she should have been drinking and driving? Hell no. But, I feel bad for them. But anyway, moving on from that, Lani and Kristen are trying to figure out where Sarah could have gone, who could have helped her. So now that she hears the message that, half of the message that Rex left for her, she thinks at first, she's basically going through all these scenarios in her head. Like, oh, what if Rex is helping her? Helping her get away with my kid? What if he made up the whole conference thing to really go see Sarah? What if? Then she's like, what if Rex called to tell her and, Sarah found out and it's either fight or flight? She was just going through a lot of scenarios trying to figure out where they are. So basically, they call Theo to trace Rex's phone. And they're thinking, like, even if Sarah's in Paris, where would they begin to look? Like, where would Kristen begin to look? Because Paris is a big place. How would you find her? You know what I mean? I understand she wants her kid back, but I just feel like Kristen is not mentally stable enough for a child. Like, I get that you want your kid back, and I think she should have her back, but you need a good couple nannies to help you out or something like that, because I just feel like Kristen is not maternal. Like, I just really feel like she's not. Lani, in my opinion, needs to be fired, effective immediately, because what she did was just totally unprofessional and out of line. Like, I understand that you wanted to help a friend, and you wanted to help her out or whatever, find her kid or whatever, but you went about it the wrong damn way. And of course, Eli did a little investigative work. He checked the security cameras. Lani, come on now. You should have been smart enough to know that y'all have security cameras at the police station. So he checked the security footage, and it showed her helping Kristen, get out of the police station. Now you're sitting there ghosting him because he's sitting there calling Lani. She keeps sending him the voicemail. So now that she's finally done with Kristen, she goes back to the station bringing Eli a muffin And he's like, I already know what you did. I know that you helped Kristen, escape. If I was Eli, I understand he loved Lani and whatnot, but come on now. Y'all need to stop being so damn corrupt in that department. Like, you really need to stop being corrupt. Like, you need to start handling things by the book and do what you got to do. Handle it by the book. Period. I understand that they don't trust the cops to handle this or whatever, but I mean, technically, the Salem PD, all they can do is try to figure. I mean, they're really genuinely trying to figure out where Sarah went. You know what I mean? Like they're trying. But it's only so much that they can do with their resources. So I understand, like, it may seem slow at times, but they're just doing the best that they can with what they're given. Hopefully Lani faces some consequences. So anyway, Theo ends up calling Kristen back or whatever. My guess is he got some information for her that could pinpoint where Rex is and help locate Sarah. So hopefully she can get there in time. But the big question is, because Kristen is so unstable, what is she going to do when she finds Sarah? Like, is she going to physically harm her? Like, those questions have to creep into your mind. Like, what is she going to do? Because we all know Kristen, like I said, she's not a sane person. So it's like, she's not a negotiator. She's not someone who can talk someone down. She shoots first, asks questions later. And that's not good for this situation. Like, you need law enforcement or somebody who can talk somebody down. Like, how Rex is trying to do. You need somebody like that who can talk, not get violent. You know what I mean? And that's not Kristen's forte. Like, she's more of a violent person. And I remember Sarah had mentioned something before about how Kristen was dangerous or whatever because of genetics, because she's a Demira. First of all, she's a Demira by law. She's not a Demira by blood. She was adopted basically by Stefano, but she's not a Demira by blood. So it's not genetics. Anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. I enjoyed this episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I will see you all later. Peace.